that this committee meeting agenda constitutes essential business of the Metropolitan Council and that meetings electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Second. Anybody? Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, we need to call roll. Councilmember Evans? Councilmember Evans, are you here?
I'm present.
Hey. Councilmember Lee? Councilmember Murphy?
Present.
Councilmember Rutherford?
Here.
Councilmember Sepulveda?
Here.
Councilmember Sledge? Councilmember Stiles? Councilmember Stiles' camera is on, but she's missing in action. All right, we'll come back to it. Okay, so we have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us here. Okay, starting from the beginning, we have resolution 2020-307 Rosenberg approves the election of certain notaries public for Davidson County. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. 5-0. Resolution 2020-309, Porterfield Cash and others urges Senator Lamar Alexander, Senator Marsha Blackburn, and Congressman Jim Cooper to make unrestricted relief funds for local governments a requirement for their support of any future COVID-19 relief packages. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second. All right, any discussion? Is Councilmember Porterfield or another sponsor here?
Yes, Chair, I'm here.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I see Councilmember Stiles and Sledge have joined us. And Councilmember Lee, are you here also?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
All right, got a full committee. Resolution 2020-310, Stiles, Welsh, and others thanks healthcare workers and recognizes their efforts to combat COVID-19. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Actually, Councilman Rosenberg,
Yes.
I will check the language of this, but I'm guessing I didn't catch it earlier.
Oh, right.
This is not the one about nurses, but I assume it, Council Lady Stiles, if you can confirm this includes nurses, I will need to abstain.
Councilmember Stiles, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Can you repeat your question? I could not hear you, Councilmember Murphy.
Sure. Does it mention, are we thinking nurses in this proclamation?
It's healthcare workers, period. It's doctors, nurses, anyone that is working in healthcare is working with COVID-19 patients.
Why don't I'll just abstain to be safe.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Thank you. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That'll be 7 in favor, none against, and not one abstention. RS 2020-311, Bradford, Benedict, and others thanks essential workers for their efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic. Are there any sponsors here?
I'm here.
Okay. All right, is there a motion on the bill?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
I will abstain on that one as well.
Okay. RS 2020-312, HURT recognizes the Purple Cities Project and Alliance Initiative for their movement to foster dementia awareness. Is there a sponsor present? Let's roll that one to the heel. Councilmember, would you mute if you're not, please? Thank you. Resolution 2020-313, Welsh and Hurt, recognizes May 6 through 12, 2020 as National Nurses Week in Nashville and Davidson County, and further recognizes 2020 as the Year of the Nurse. Councilmember Welsh, you're here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is the one I'll be officially abstaining on.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Thank you. One abstention on that one. Okay. Council member, Resolution 2020-314, Swara and Bradford recognizes the 10th anniversary of the May 2010 flood in Nashville and honors the memory of those killed. We have a letter to approve. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion? Councilmember Murphy, would you like to abstain?
I think I'm okay on this one. Although, if needed, I think I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Okay. We're on to bills on second reading. BL 2020-147 Murphy amends the Metro Code regarding lobbyist registration and disclosure. And there's an amendment. Is there a motion on the bill?
So moved.
There's a second. Okay. Thank you. Councilmember Murphy?
Thank you. I will move the amendment so we have it. We can go ahead and get it.
I'm sorry?
I move the amendment.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion on, what's the amendment, Councilmember?
Sure. The amendment is housekeeping. Basically, this is legislation, which I'll get further into in a minute, that we've been working on for about 4 years. And so there was just one thing that we didn't catch dealing with who assesses a fine. And so this clarifies that the clerk does not assess a fine because our clerk cannot do that.
Got it. Thank you. Any discussion on the amendment? All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
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 All right. Thank you. All right. We are on the bill as amended. Councilmember Murphy?
Great. Thank you. So as I mentioned previously, this is a piece of legislation that I started drafting a few years ago. Basically, when I got elected, I realized that there wasn't a whole lot of transparency about who was approaching us as council members to make changes in the zoning code, to make changes to the code, who was talking to us about economic development deals. And realizing that our lobbyist registration, who was a lobbyist, and kind of ethics code had not been updated since 1991. Reference, I'm now 35 and I was in first grade then. I think it was about time to update this. Many of you know that I am a lobbyist by trade. I am now in-house, but used to be a contract lobbyist. And so what I did with then our attorney and legal counsel was Mike Jameson. and Hannah Zeitlin, who's still on staff with us, we updated it, our ethics code and lobbyist code, making it where it much more parallels what is at the state level. So it is not reinventing the wheel or anything crazy like that. Well, you might consider what we have at the state crazy. It's actually just raising the bar to require that people who lobby the Metro Council have to do things that we have to do at the state level. It does not go beyond the what I am required to do professionally at the state level. It is still well below that bar, but it clarifies a lot of terms about who is a lobbyist, who needs to register. One key thing is it creates a volunteer lobbyist. So like if you are a nonprofit or an organization, you're not getting tagged with that. So this is, I've circulated it amongst many of the lobbyists that frequently communicate with us and lobbyists that I know. And so I have not had a lot of feedback from anybody that was negative or things that needed to be changed, but I'm happy to answer any questions before us.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any discussion? Okay. Are we ready to vote? All right. In favor of approval?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? All right, we recommend approval as amended. We are on to elections and confirmations. First up, we have the appointment of Ms. Talisha Arguelles-Cobb for a term expiring December 1st, 2020. Ms. Cobb will fill the unexpired term of Dr. Gwendolyn Watson. And then, so let's do one at a time here. Ms. Cobb, there you are. Hi. Would you mind introducing yourself and talking a little bit about your interest in this particular person?
Absolutely. Good evening. My name is Talisha Arguelles-Cobb, and I'm a Tennessee native, Nashville resident. And I'm interested in this appointment because I am a first-generation cycle breaker. So I came from cycles of poverty and was able to reach middle-class citizenship through the support of community, through great mentors, through entrepreneurship. And I'm a daughter of an immigrant. I'm a bold visionary. I have a growth mindset, and I'm a radical systems thinker. So I really love to get to the root of issues. And my life purpose really is to be of service to brilliant people, because I remember where I came from and I understand the mission of this department. And in these times, it couldn't be more critical that we have bold leadership in these positions. And I believe that I'm the one to do it.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments?
I have a question, Chair.
Councilmember?
So thank you so much for wanting to be on this board. I just have a quick question. I saw in your questionnaire that it says that you're aware of many systemic issues, and I was just wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on that, since this commission's whole goal is to break the cycle of poverty by addressing certain issues such as education and economic security, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart. Since my district is the third or fourth poorest district in the city, and since only 31% of my district has a high school diploma, and 73.3% of it of my district's children are enrolled in our public schools, and I saw that you're a first generation. Well, you're a daughter of immigrants, and so I was just hoping you could elaborate a little bit on some systemic issues you've seen and something that you could bring to the board, because I want to make sure that anyone that we're adding to this board understands the important issues that are taking place in some of these parts of the city that see a lot of poverty.
Absolutely. So I mean, from a big picture standpoint, I believe the cornerstone of progress is opportunity. So ensuring that we are providing opportunity with resources. I'm a big believer. I know for me personally, when I was a child facing a lot of the challenges that I faced, that I needed nourishment and I needed support. So food security is a big issue for me because I believe a well-nourished human has the ability to reach their fullest potential when they're supported. I believe that if we make healthy food accessible by getting to the roots of the issue, teaching people how to plant their own food, looking for city-owned plots that we can begin to put food into neighborhoods where people can go once you know how to grow. If you grow kale, you eat kale, and that starts at a very young age. And so I'm very passionate about opportunities for children to be able to do that and to be empowered. I also believe that systemically we need access to mentors. I know growing up, I was in rural Tennessee. I didn't have women that looked like me. I didn't have women that I could really relate to. And so being able to provide mentorship at a very young age and throughout your life, to be able to have someone that really believes in you, to have someone that can help you navigate. And systemically, I spent 4 years on the beer board. I learned that, we can't do one size fits all regulations, that we have to think about poverty. We have to think about historically underfunded areas, that if we are fining everyone the same bit, if we're fining these small immigrant-owned businesses the same as we're fining these big corporations, that we're creating inequity within our systems. And so to me, you have to get down, there's not any magic big bullet solutions. We have to look at the processes, and we have to always think about race, and we all have to always think about equity in every little finite decision that we make. And that is, my heart for systemic issues.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, ready to vote? All in favor of recommending approval?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Great. Thank you, Ms. Cobb. We'll see you in the next room in a little while.
Thank you so much.
Now, also for the Action Commission, we have the reappointment of Ms. Karen Doty for a term expiring February 2nd, 2023. Doty, are you here? Oh, great. Thank you. Would you mind introducing yourself and talking a little bit about your experience on the commission?
Yes, I was first appointed in 2006. Wanted to be on the Metro Action Commission board previously. I was aware of all their activities. I was a single parent of 4 children. 25 years ago, my 2 youngest children attended Head Start. So I was a volunteer I would go and volunteer with Head Start every day until they went to elementary, at which time I proceeded to go to school and volunteer at the school with my children every day, all day until they left high school. And I've been involved in the neighborhood with, I was on the board of the Woodbine Community Organization, attended the Woodbine Family Advisory Board. I was on the Metro School Snack Committee for the Glencliff Cluster. Recently, though, I have become involved with the Senior Citizen Center at the fairgrounds until they closed. I volunteer with do special projects with the Music City Mission, which also does things for underprivileged and sheltered women. They have a women's luncheon in the fall and a children's Christmas program. And I just really enjoyed all these years serving on the Metro Action Commission, and I feel like I still have more to offer now that I'm almost a senior citizen.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay. Are we ready to vote? All right. I'm sorry. Councilmember Stiles?
Oh, no, that was me talking to myself, not realizing I was.
Would you like to share with the rest of the class? Okay. All right. All in favor? Reappointment?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Doty.
Thank you.
Okay, next up we have the Auditorium Commission. We have the appointment of Ms. Susan Gorbani for a term expiring June 30, 2022. Ms. Gorbani will fill the unexpired term of Ms. Leanne Lisk. Ms. Gorbani?
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hear me okay?
Introducing yourself and talking a little bit about your interest in the commission.
Absolutely. I am Susan Gorbani. I am I want to say native Nashvilleian. I've been here since '02 from Murfreesboro, so close. But I've spent a large part of my adult life supporting and driving tourism initiatives here in Nashville and the surrounding areas. I have a big passion specifically for music. But also community and arts events here in the area. But right now I'm working for Amazon as a senior marketing strategist, and I think to this role specifically, I can bring not only the passion that I have for the community and specifically this venue, but also kind of a strategic approach to how we continue to grow and connect with people across Nashville.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments?
I do.
Councilmember?
Thank you. Thank you for being willing to serve on this committee. I wanted to get your thoughts. Since the state legislature has moved its offices to Cordell Hull, and obviously there are a lot more visitors coming, either parking TA or parking at nearby lots, kind of differently situated than they were at Legislative Plaza. We have with more the municipal auditorium across the street from Cordell Hull, we have a lot more people across the state coming to Cordell Hull, seeing the municipal auditorium. And I mean, we all know that money is tight and things like that, but I would love to hear you talk about, if you've had time to think about some upgrades to the exterior. Right now, when you're in Cordell Hull, the sun bounces off and blinds a lot of people inside. So, I mean, I don't think there's a lot we can do about the roof necessarily, other than murals or whatnot. But I just think landscaping wise, it's something I think about on almost a daily basis half of the year. So I'd love to hear some thoughts that you might have.
Please forgive me. The very last part of that I missed because I have a Cujo dog that was barking at a passerby. Could you just give me the very last, I think maybe sentence and a half?
Sure. Basically, you know, a lot of people across the state are seeing this facility and are either seeing it by walking by or seeing it from the Cordell Hull building. And I think that it has so much history that it almost the exterior, you know, betrays its own history. Do you have any thoughts about what municipal auditorium could look like, or how we could better, what can we do to make it a better place where people want to have events and participate and go places?
More inviting. Yes, well, I do actually drive by there every day on my way, well, not since COVID, but prior, on my way to work. And I do think that I haven't given a lot of thought to specifically what could be done there, but I do think you mentioned murals. I think giving it a cleaner look, it does look a lot, very much outdated. And so for something that's so historic and grand, you know, investing in that specific space to be aesthetically pleasing. And I don't know that I would say necessarily modernizing it, but, you know, really tying into kind of that period of when it was built, because it is a great structure. I think it's a beautiful building, but it does look a little run down. And so in order to elevate and really celebrate what that building represents to us, I do think there are some upgrades that are needed. I think that there's some aesthetics that are needed, and I think murals are great. I think we have a lot of really good murals in Nashville, and I think it's kind of becoming a thing. But I think really I would like to kind of restore the look and feel of that period of the building, because it's really special.
Great, thank you. It's just something I'd love the committee to think about. Obviously,
absolutely.
limited funds, but a lot could probably be done on a little basis. So your thoughts?
I think so. I think there's just a lot of great structure there. So I don't know that, I don't personally don't know what that sort of restructure or upgrade would cost, so I don't really know the financial pieces of that. So of course that will definitely dig into that sort of thing. But I think, there is a lot that can be done with the current structure to really improve and kind of restore what, that feel that we want people to have when they look at the building and get excited about, really the history that exists there. So
great.
Certainly.
Chair,
Thank
I'll
you.
move for approval.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor of approval?
Aye.
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 Okay, any opposed or abstentions? Great, all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Convention Authority, we have the appointment of Ms. Seema Prasad for a term expiring September 30, 2020. Ms. Prasad will fill the unexpired term of Ms. Renata Soto. Ms. Prasad, are you here? Ms. Prasad, you appear to be muted. Okay, let's come back to her. Oh, wait, there she is. Hi. Would you mind introducing yourself and talking about your interest in the authority? Sorry, we can't hear you for some reason. You're not muted, but... We're not picking you up. At the top, there's a place where you can test under communicate. There's a place you can test audio connection and speaker, microphone, and camera. So we will come back to you shortly. Thank you. For the electrical examiners and appeals board, we have the reappointment of Mr. Mark Poole, the term expiring February 2nd, 2024. Mr. Poole?
Yes.
Hi. Would you mind introducing yourself and talking a little bit about your experience on the board?
Yes, sir. I'm a journeyman wireman with International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429, here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm also assistant business.
Mr. Poole, your audio just dropped out too.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes.
So I was just saying I'm with the IBEW, the local union here in Nashville. And since I've been on this board, I've met a lot of critical thinkers in the electrical industry. And I think our main mission is to protect the integrity of our code. And I enjoy serving the people of Nashville. And if there and the people will approve, I will gladly serve again.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from Mr. Poole?
I'd like to move approval.
Okay. All in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Poole. We'll see you next door. Okay. Any luck, Ms. Prasad? Yeah, working on it. Okay. For the Emergency Communications District Board, we have the reappointment of Ms. Ruby Baker, Mr. Richard Cowan, and Ms. Lorinda Hale for terms expiring February 14th, 2024. Ms. Baker, are you here? Ms. Baker?
I'm trying to.
Oh, hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how to do this webcam thing, so I dialed in on my phone. I'm hoping you can hear me.
Yeah, we can. You're good. Would you mind introducing yourself, talking a little bit about your experience on the board?
Okay, my name is Ruby Baker. I currently serve on the board. If reappointed, this will be my third term. And since being elected to the board, I have had the opportunity to see behind the scenes and make sure that our 911 dispatchers and operators have the necessary equipment they need to make sure that all 911 calls are answered promptly, and also that we have the latest technology. I love connecting the community because being on the board, I'm also a part of the Public Awareness Committee that raises awareness about 911, 862-8600, and I also take that information and host several community groups and meetings to raise awareness with the community, because a lot of times the residents or people assume when they dial 911 and the police arrive on the scene, they assume it's the police officer that has taken the call and is the one that should have all the information that they gave them. So what I saw was a disconnect between the call takers and the person actually calling. So being on the board, I'm able to learn how the 911 center functions and operates, and take that information to use it to raise awareness with our community group. I'm also president of our neighborhood association and have been for almost 15 years now. So my experience in serving in the community and serving on this board, I feel has really given me the opportunity to help improve, if you can understand this, help improve Nashville as a whole by connecting our neighborhoods with our call takers, police, fire, and medical. I've taken several community groups on a tour of the 911 center, and they were really amazed, especially those that had to dial 911 and was able to now put a face with a live person. So I have a lot of things that have really caused me to grow as an individual and raise awareness about the board and the importance of making sure our call takers have the latest technology, the latest equipment, so that we can be of service to all the citizens and the visitors of Davidson County.
Great.
So,
thank you, Ms. Baker.
Rather than going on and on, I hope you were able to read my bio or my information. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Great. Thank you. And Mr. Cowan, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I mean, Ms. Baker said quite a lot of the things that I was going to say. Just like to add training on there as well. It's very important, obviously, that our 911 dispatchers are trained appropriately. And that is another function of the board is getting and approving the requests that come in for the appropriate training they need. I have served on multiple boards within the community, both here in Nashville and my home state of California. Just recently, I was on the HOA board with my neighborhood. served there for 13 years, president for 11. So that I think there's a testament there of the trust that's been given to me by the community. When I initially, my first board I ever served on was back in 2001, 2002. It was a participation nursery school for my son at the time. Well, he's not my son, just he's no longer in preschool. And so that's kind of what I got bit by the bug there as far as helping and being part of the community and being there to make a change. And that's one thing I've enjoyed on my time with the 911 board is making sure that our dispatchers are there to and have the education, the training, the equipment, as Ms. Baker said, to properly assist the residents and visitors of Davidson County.
Thank you. Ms. Hale, would you like to add anything?
Good evening. Thank you for taking the time to see me. I'll echo what Ruby and Rick have already said about the board. But in addition to that, one of the other things that we have is we have a community outreach program called Rescue Rex that goes into the elementary schools to teach children and families, and oftentimes immigrant families, the proper use of 911, when to call 911, when to call 862-8600, to make sure that the lines are properly used. And that outreach has been a tremendous help to our community. It's been going on for over 25 years now. I am also the founder of Southeast Nashville United, which is a community engagement group which was developed to help strengthen the ties within our community and within our community to the governmental resources that are available to us. Stronger, safer communities. And my service on the board has allowed me to get more information out to the folks in Southeast Nashville, to reach out to the immigrant communities in particular, to make them aware that we do have interpretation services on 911. A lot of folks aren't aware of that. And we have the ability to speak to just about anybody in any language as a result of the interpretation services we have that allow us to assist in getting help quickly to folks who aren't necessarily fluent in English. And given in the Southeast Nashville, our high immigrant population, that's an important service to have out for our folks. Basically, I've been a Nashville resident for 35 years, and I love my city, I love my community, and I love being able to serve and help expand governmental services to our group. So I will hope that you will give me the opportunity to be reappointed to have my own first term.
Great, thank you very much. Any questions or comments for the reappointees? All in favor of approval?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. I had my hand up.
Who had their hand up?
I did.
Can't see you, Antoinette. Please, do you have something you'd like to say before we finish voting or ask?
Well, I think it's done now, but I just want to let you know that, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think it is done now, but I just wanted, before we voted on it, I wanted to say how active Ms. Hale is in the community. She's in a lot of different things and very conscientious about the community and very active in everything. And I wanted to tell you all that before we voted, but that's okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're halfway through voting. Was there anybody who wanted to vote no or abstain?
I second Antoinette's statements on Ms. Hale.
Thank you. All right. We're good. 8 in favor, none against of all the appointments. Reappointments. Ms. Prasad, any luck? Hey. All right. Oh, except you're muffled.
Is that better?
Yes. Great.
Okay.
Okay. Would you mind introducing yourself and talking a little bit about the Convention Center Authority?
Yes. So my name is Seema Prasad. I've been a resident in Nashville, Tennessee for 19 years. I moved here from Seattle, Washington. Living in Nashville, I've been very civically engaged and have always been, previous to living here. live in Davidson County and an active voter. I have owned for 25 years and operated hospitality businesses, and they go from the gamut of restaurants, catering, event facilities, and I'm intimately acquainted with the challenges that those can pose. There have been numerous times where there have been some pretty challenging business scenarios that required real tenacity to overcome and just dedication to creative solutions. It's something I have had my skills up, and I would like to provide those skills to my city and serve on the convention center authority board.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments from the committee? All right. Are we ready to vote? Okay, all in favor of approval?
Aye.
Aye.
Councilmembers Sledge and Evans, are you still here? Sledge and Evans? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, any abstentions or no votes? Great, thank you very much. 7 in favor, 9 against. Appreciate it. And we are on to the Fair Commissioners Board, the appointment of Dr. Sherry Weiner for a term expiring April 6th, 2021. A sketchy character. Dr. Weiner will fill the unexpired term of Ms. Bonna Johnson. Dr. Weiner, would you like to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about the Fair Board?
Hey guys, I haven't seen you guys in forever, so it's good to see some of you by video as best I can. You know, during my time on the council, I focused on operations and budgets and community growth and development. And when the mayor asked me to step in and fill out Bonna's term, I was happy to do so because it seemed like a really good fit for me and for the Fair Board as well.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Sherry? All right. Colby-san, are we ready to vote?
Hey, Chair, I just had one quick comment, if that's okay. So, and I think Sherry's going to be fantastic on the board. I know we have brought up several times on boards and commissions about that we've got diversity of members representing, and we are going to be looking at future appointments on this board in particular, and just want to keep that in mind. And Dr. Weiner knows that. I think I don't expect her to speak to this, but I think she would agree about that as well. And just want to keep that in mind for her.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion? Vote? All right. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Thank you very much. See you next door.
Council members, should I get my parking permit stamped?
Yeah, Councilmembers will put us down a parking for you. All right. Human Relations Commission. I think Mr. Dash was having trouble calling in before. Mr. Dash, are you here?
I am. Can you all hear me?
Yes, great. Okay, we have the appointment of Mr. Pratik Dash for a term expiring April 18th, 2021. Mr. Dash will fill the unexpired term of Ms. Marcela Gomez. Mr. Dash, would you mind introducing yourself and talking a bit about the commission?
Yeah, so I have been living in Nashville since I was 8 years old, about 23 years. Second generation Indian American. I've been working with immigrant communities for almost 5 years now, which led me to a diverse communities of all races, creed, religion in this city. I'm professionally connected to hundreds of community leaders in this city and have great insight on getting input from them. And I think that's led to a lot of broader coalition building for advocating for people of color and LGBTQ communities. I sat at a table with many of you discussing these issues. And if it means anything, I really love this city, and I really think that the Human Relations Commission is where I can make the best impact on the city.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments?
I have a quick comment, Chair.
Okay, cast member, thank you.
Yeah, so I just want to voice my support Mr. Dash, since this commission is, the motto is one city for all people, and this board looks at equity, impact, and our most vulnerable communities. And seeing as that we don't have an equity officer right now or a director of New Americans, I think that Mr. Dash could really help us out during this in between.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Chair, I just wanted to follow up on Councilman Topeka's support. So I've had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Dash for several years, and I think he's perfectly suited for this commission. It'll be better for it.
Great, thank you. All right, are we ready to vote? All right, all in favor of approval?
Aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Dash. Next up, we have the Sports Authority. First up, we have the reappointment of Ms. Kathy Bender for a term expiring February 19th, 2026. Ms. Bender?
Hello?
Hi. Would you mind introducing yourself and talk briefly about your experience on the board?
Yes. Again, I'm Kathy Bender, and I am excited about the possibility of being reappointed to the Sports Authority Board. I have been on the board for, this is my 5th term, actually. And so I was there in the beginning, and I actually, because I am very passionate about sports, I'm a community servant, and I've served in all capacities throughout the Nashville community. But the Sports Authority allows me to really put my passion around sports alongside my commitment to serve the people of the community of Nashville. And because my background was a former athlete, I was the first Black female scholarship recipient at Vanderbilt University. But I was also the first recipient in my family, which helped me to understand how sports can really change the trajectory of inner city youth and underprivileged and those less fortunate. So I am a great fan of sports. I have been around long enough to see the city of Nashville grow, and I like to think that sports contributed greatly to that piece. But also, I think that as a member of the Sports Authority, we were able to pull together and really make sure that we represent the people of the city of Nashville, and so that the city was able to benefit from those different sporting partnerships. And I'd like to be a part of continuing with that. You know, we're looking at soccer now, and currently, I've actually served as vice chair a couple of times on the Sports Authority. I'm a member of the finance team. 32 years with Merrill Lynch, so I understand budgets and contracts, and I think that's been beneficial. And so going forward, if we consider some of the opportunities in the future, I am currently chairing a watch committee to potentially bring women's professional sporting venue to Nashville. And I think that's probably one of the links that we don't have. We already have resources, so it's about thinking outside the box. So I would love the opportunity to continue to work and to serve the citizens of Nashville and Davidson County for another term on the Sports Authority.
Great, thank you, Ms. Bender. Well, why don't we let everybody introduce themselves for Sports Authority before we go into questions and comments about the authority. So we have also the appointment of Colonel Don Deering for a term expiring February 19th, 2026. Colonel Deering, are you here?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Would you mind introducing yourself a bit and talk about your interest in the authority?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, first of all, let me thank each one of you for the great job you are doing in leading our great city during this very challenging of times. I'm a native Nashvilleian. I retired from the Guard. I was executive director of the National Guard Association of Tennessee. I worked for Congressman Jim Cooper for a number of years. I've always been a proud fan of the Nashville area. In the National Guard conferences, we brought in over 5,000 people from all over every state and territory in 2009 and 2015 to help Nashville, and we stayed at Opryland. I've served my country, my states. Now I'd like to serve our great city as a member of the Metro Sports Authority. As I observed our sports authority for many years, I see what a great job they have done with state-of-the-art and first-class sports facilities at Nissan Stadium, Bridgestone Arena, First Horizon Ballpark, the ice arenas at Antioch and Bellevue, and now our new Major League Soccer Stadium, all of which we can be proud. But we also have the responsibility to operate, maintain, and improve these great facilities as called for in the governing contracts for each. I have the time and energy and the experience and business world that will allow me to make a contribution to this very worthy committee, and would appreciate your vote here today. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And we also have the appointment of Mr. Glenn Farner for a term expiring February 19th, 2026. Mr. Farner, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you. I think to introduce myself professionally, I've served as an elected leader of the Laborers Union, or LIUNA, in one capacity or another since 1996, advocating for blue-collar workers and their causes. Personally, I've lived here in Nashville and Middle Tennessee for over 20 years, raising my kids here. I've been civically engaged during that time. Love to contribute and help my community. I've served on the Study and Formulating Committee, or Study and Formulating Committee previously, reviewing the benefits for public employees and the MTA board, which I most recently served. Very proud of the work we did there to expand the access ride for the elderly and disabled riders, adding new buses to better serve our neighborhoods. And most importantly, I'm an unapologetic advocate for transparency and public engagement. I think anybody who's worked with me on any of those boards would say that, and certainly inclusion. Hope I can bring all of that passion to the Sports Authority Board. Look forward to serving and learning how I may better do that. So thank you. And one last thing, I see everybody appears to have electricity and lights. I recently got that back myself, so I'm not in the dark, but shout out to our lineman, electrician, and the public employees who are out there right now trying to get that done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any questions or comments for our Sports Authority appointees?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Councilman Rutherford?
Yes, I would just like to make a comment, if I may. Colonel Deering is someone who is definitely a true leader and someone with a servant's heart, and I do believe he would serve us quite well, and I highly endorse.
Great, thank you. I agree. Anybody else on the committee? And then we'll go to Councilmember Van Rees. Councilmember Van Rees? Sorry, Councilmember Murphy.
Get my button, sorry. I just wanted to say that I'm excited that tonight, not only did we already approved, but we are about to approve 2 union members. I think it is important that we have that representation on not just boards that require union representation in those seats, but on more on the majority of our boards. That way we ensure that we have working class folks and blue collar folks, and really the folks that we represent every day are fully represented on these boards. So with my full support, I'd like to move forward.
Thank you. Councilmember Lee?
Oh, Thank you. I was going to say, I do not know her, but I have gotten lots of calls, so I'm going to forward that on about Ms. Bender. And so I was just doing my thumbs up for her as people were talking.
Gotcha. Thank you. Councilmember Van Rees.
Yes, thank you so much for calling on me. I wanted to offer just a brief question to the folks that are up for joining the Sports Authority or renewing their Sports Authority work. As someone who serves on the advisory committee for bringing professional women's sports to Nashville, I know that we had one comment on it, but I'd like to hear from all of the members about their perspective on that.
Okay, Ms. Bender. Oh, you're muted, Ms. Bender.
So what I will say is that I think there's a lot of excitement around the possibility. We have really started to look into the benefits because the resources, the fields, a lot of the infrastructure is already in place. So we see that we could probably move. That's a very natural next step. And I just can't imagine that this could be the it city without female professional athletes in it.
Thank you. Colonel Deeren?
I support what Ms. Bender just stated. 100%, Councilman Van Rees.
Thank you. Mr. Farner?
Thank you. You know, as popular as women's sports and athletics are, I can't believe we don't already have it. So, yes, proud supporter and do what I can.
Great. Thank you. Any other discussion? All right, we're ready to vote. All in favor of approval?
Aye.
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 Any opposed or abstentions? Right, 8-0. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next door.
Councilman, get our beer license. It'd probably come on about 6:30 though, but they wanted me to get on it. You gotta.
Someone's not muted. We have the appointment of Ms. Margaret Littman for the Stormwater Management Committee on here. I presume that's not something we're taking up tonight.
Yeah, Nashville.
Okay. We're on to the Traffic and Parking Commission, the reappointment of Ms. Sarah Lee Woods for a term expiring April 3rd, 2025. Ms. Woods, are you here?
I am here, yes.
Hi, would you mind introducing yourself? Talk briefly about your experience on the commission.
The commission for one term and have been recommended for another term. And I have 2 degrees in urban planning, and it's a real interesting time to be dealing with traffic and parking in our great city.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Ms. Woods?
Move approval.
All right. All in favor of approving reappointment? All right. Any opposed or abstentions? Thank you very much, Ms. Woods.
Thank you all for your service. I appreciate it very much. Y'all stay safe.
Thank you. You too. For the BZA, the Zoning Appeals Board, we have the reappointment and it's Christina Carpenet. Please tell me if I got that right. For a term expiring February 26, 2025. How'd I do?
You were good. And hello from my kitchen.
Hi, would you, is it Carpenet?
Yep, that's right.
All right, great. Thank you. Would you mind introducing yourself and talking a bit about your experience on the BZA?
Yeah, sure. I'm Christina Carpenek. I've lived in Nashville for 22 years. I've lived all throughout Nashville, and happy to say I live in Council District 24 now. I see my councilwoman here. I moved here in 1998, right after that tornado. I've seen Nashville through a lot of natural disasters. One of the first things I did when I moved here was plant trees in East Nashville. And so I know that we're going to all get through this hard time. I'm a licensed architect. I've been licensed for 17 years. I actually review the zoning code for my projects, so I have a lot of familiarity with it. And in fact, I listened to the Metro Action Commission members this evening, and it reminded me I worked on the Douglas Head Start, so an important building in East Nashville for them. It's been a great honor and privilege to serve on the Board of Zoning Appeals for the past 5 years. And what that brings, the 5 years of experience and understanding of the rules and regulations through which we must judge cases. There's 4 types of appeals, and through the 5 years, I've learned all about that and how to administer our votes very judiciously. We're a quasi-judicial board. And I'll be quick here because I know you all need to get to your council meeting. I'd like to thank everyone for their service as well. I see a lot of you come before our board and write to our board. And it's really encouraging and rewarding to hear the citizens of Nashville speak about their zoning issues to our board. And I'd also like to thank Metro IT for hanging in with us. We have meetings that go 4 to 6 hours, and they're always there for us. So in closing, thanks for your consideration this evening.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments for Ms. Carpenter?
I do have a comment, not just because she's my constituent, but prior to becoming my constituent, I was really impressed with her ability on the board because it is quasi-judicial. It does have a lot of legal elements. And so I think sometimes people who are not attorneys, when they get thrown onto the board, can sometimes flounder in the deep end till they find their feet. And I've always appreciated her insight and perspective on it. And so thank you for being willing to serve again. And I'll move for approval.
Right. Are we comfortable approving despite Councilmember Murphy's support? Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed or abstentions? Great. Thank you very much, Ms. Karpanek.
Thank you.
Is Councilmember Hurt on? Okay, then we will have to defer Resolution 2023-12 by rule. And if there's no other business, then we are done.
Hey, Mr. Chairman.
Great to see all your faces.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
This is Don Deering. Do we need to stay on for the confirmation of the council?
I believe so, but hopefully it'll be quick and painless.
Okay, we can stay on this same channel here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right, good to see everybody. We are adjourned.